Good day, Junior Tickies. I'm Mrs. Brimacombe, and we are going to look at Creditors Reconciliation, Activity 9. KZ Stores purchase goods on credit from Valley Limited. So Valley Limited is our creditor. We are buying from them. Take note of the different ways in which reconciliation can be asked. In this question, use the table in the answer book to indicate how the relevant balances will change when preparing a creditor's reconciliation. Indicate the figure as well as a plus for an increase and a minus for a decrease. The first transaction has been done for you. So you are not required to complete the creditor's ledger account. You are not required to complete a general journal. So in a table format, which we will see a little bit later on, you need to show how all the transactions will be completed. In this activity, we will also focus again on internal control. Always know how internal control can be incorporated into the different topics. The first question, the bookkeeper Litzy says it's not necessary for her to prepare the creditor's reconciliation statement because the creditor sent monthly statements to the business anyway. What would you say to her? State 2 points. So here we're looking at why is it important to prepare creditor's reconciliation on a monthly basis. Number 1, the statement could contain errors. Number 2, it's an internal measure. Thirdly, this will lead to detection of any errors, omissions, or fraud that might have happened. Fourth, to compare, to check, to reconcile the account to the statement. And then the last one, which you might not be familiar with yet, to ensure VAT returns is correct or to assist in doing the VAT return. In accounting, we are going to also do VAT, where we need to submit our VAT on a bi-monthly every second month to SARS. So to ensure that our account is correct will help in that process when we submit our VAT return. Information B, the following errors and omissions were discovered during the investigation. Remember, number 1 has already been done for you, and the instructions specifically said indicate a plus or a minus, so make sure that you always adhere to the instructions. So looking at transaction number 2, an invoice for goods bought for 87,500 was reflected on the statement from Valley Limited but was not recorded by KZ Stores. So what is happening here? It reflects on the statement 87,500 but not in our books, in our creditors ledger. So it means that we will need to correct it in the creditors ledger. An invoice means that we owe them money. So it will be plus 87,500. Transaction number 3. An invoice for 28,000 received from Valley Limited was recorded correctly by KZ Stores. The statement of account reflected as 20,800. So in our books, in the creditors ledger, we've done it correctly as 28,000. On the statement received, it was recorded as 20,800. It's supposed to be 28,000. So the difference, 7,200, must be added. They have understated the amount. In our answer booklet, statement of account received from Valley Limited, we are going to say plus 7,200. Transaction number 4. KZ Stores had correctly recorded discount of 1,400 for early payment of their account. This has not been reflected on the statement from Valley Limited. We have correctly shown discount in the creditors ledger, 1,400. It does not reflect on the statement, which means they will need to credit our account 1,400. On the statement of account received from Valley Limited, we're going to show minus 1,400. Transaction number 5. The statement reflects interest of 650 on the overdue account. Valley Limited acknowledged that an error had been made and promised to reverse the entry in the October 21 statement. This means in our books it's done correctly. They made a mistake by showing interest of 650 on the overdue account. So they will need to correct that amount by crediting our account with 650, and by crediting it, it means minus. So on the statement of account received from Valley Limited, we're going to show minus 650. A debit note for 2,100 issued to Valley CC was incorrectly recorded in the account of Valley Limited by KZ Stores. This means that the debtors control, or the statement received from their perspective, we are a debtor, it was done correctly. In our books, we've incorrectly shown a debit note, which means that we owe them less money. So to correct it, we will need to credit the creditors control account, which will show that we owe them 2,100 more. So in the creditors ledger of KZ Stores, we're going to show for number 6 plus 2,100. Transaction number 7, a credit note for 5,250 received from Valley Limited for goods returned was incorrectly recorded as an invoice by KZ Stores. This means they've done it correctly. We made a mistake in the creditors control account, in the creditors ledger. We've shown a credit note as an invoice. So to correct this, we will need to debit the creditors control creditors ledger account with 5,250. But to debit it, we've only cancelled that transaction. We still need to show the return. So when this happens, it's always times 2. In our creditors ledger of KZ Stores, number 7, we are going to show minus 10,500. Before we continue with the next transaction, a credit note, they will issue us with a credit note. We will issue them with a debit note to show that we owe them less money. Don't forget about the source documents. From their perspective, how would they show a return? From our perspective, how would we show a return? Transaction number 8, goods purchased from Valley Limited on 30 September 2021 for 4,600 were recorded by KZ Stores. The statement from Valley Limited is dated the 25th of September 2021. So this is an example where transactions happened after we've received our statement. So it will not reflect on the statement. It means that they will need to debit our account with 4,600. Why debit? Goods purchase means that we owe them more money. So on your answer booklet, number 8, statement of account, we're going to show plus 4,600. Once we've done all the transactions, we can total. So if I add the creditors ledger of KZ Stores, it equals 182,920. If I add the statement of account received from Valley Limited, our new amount is 182,920. And if it's the same, it means that we've done it 100% correctly. Looking at our next question, 9.3, an invoice for goods bought for 87,500 was reflected on the statement from Valley Limited but was not recorded by KZ Stores. As an internal auditor of KZ stores, you have detected that only 50,000 of these goods were entered in the stock records by the storeman. The remaining goods were ordered privately by Van Wyk, an employee in charge of the creditors. So this is a similar scenario to what we've done in the previous activities. As mentioned before, make sure that you always study your internal control over creditors, internal control over stock. What do we need to do if the business buys stock? The question says, now what action can be taken against this employee? So 1, a disciplinary hearing can be held or should be held. Open a criminal case at the South African Police Service because this is actually stealing from the business. Redeploy pending the decision or suspend pending the decision on the outcome of the hearing or the case. Require employee to refund the money, to refund the amount. Repay employer for the cost. Deduct from salary. Take legal action for repayment. We can dismiss him as this is gross misconduct. So these are all possibilities, actions that we can take against this employee. But now this has happened. As a business, how can we prevent this from happening in the future? So make sure that there's division of duties so that one person serves as a check on another. Get someone else to authorize these transactions. Rotate duties so that the employees do not have permanent control over the aspect of the business, of this specific aspect. Conduct internal audits. Check that the documents to detect the fraud and errors. Check all the documents in the business. Make sure you do a physical stock control of the records. When goods are received, the receiving officer must check that the stock received to the invoice and order form. Don't just assume, oh well, the stock is here, it's what we've ordered, and you don't check. Inform your suppliers of the procedure for delivering goods to the business and do not deviate from this. So again, you need to mention 3 points. I've given you more than 3 options. Make sure that you study these as possibilities and how do we prevent an employee ordering stock for personal use. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot in this short video on creditors reconciliation. Next, we're going to look at activity 10, and this will be our last activity on creditors reconciliation. I want to leave you with this quote: be ready to fail, because only then you are ready to succeed. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.